I'm not one to usually want to actively stop putting in effort, but I haven't uploaded in a while, and I just want to throw something out there. Even when I do add footage in the background for people to watch because their Zoomy receptors are fried to the point where they can't watch anything if it's not a YouTube short, I'm not going to bother to put in effort for this particular video. Maybe I'll keep doing it in the future, maybe not, but I just want to get something out there because it's been a while since I last uploaded. But Starfield, new Bethesda game, the new Skyrim, if you will, right? I don't know anything about the game that much. I haven't played the game. I'm not going to play the game because I'm just genuinely not interested in it. But bullshit is, of course, associated with this ever so lovely game, right? Todd Howard did it again. Pronouns. Pronouns, everybody's favorite word, apparently. The game lets you choose your pronouns, like she, her, they, them, he, him, shit like that. Just retarded shit, right? And on the surface level, that doesn't mean anything, right? It's a nothing burger. On the surface level. The issue is not the pronouns. It's what the pronouns represent and the people that support it. That's the issue with the pronouns. It's not the pronouns themselves. It's not the fact that pronouns are in the game. That's not the issue here. Okay? Just go ahead and get that. Just set that on the table, right? The pronouns aren't the issue. They're a part of the issue, right? They're a symptom of the disease, right? Now, to make a long story short, for the average person, pronouns are a nuisance, right? Their inclusion in a hobby or a form of escapism is very distracting and disruptive to the hobby, right? When you go to escape real life with a video game, right? The whole point of escapism is to escape real life, not have it forced into the hobby, right? And something that is very unfortunate is that gender pronouns are being forced into escapism. Not just gender pronouns, but all matters of the collectivist ideologies are being forced into video games, as I'll put it. Whether that be Marxism, racial extremism, gender ideology shit, it's just transgenderism, stuff along those lines, right? It's being forced into video games. And typically the video games, if it's just a complete dog shit video game, typically the video game won't do well. Saints Row comes to mind. If the game itself is fine, I think people can look past that. But if the game has nothing substantial to it, and it has all this forced political agenda, it will absolutely flop. That's why we have terms like get woke, go broke, right? For the average person, adding gender pronouns is a nuisance at worst, right? But that's the average person. That is the middle man, right? Somebody who can't really think beyond current events, right? A much more intelligent person, or at least somebody who is more acknowledging of the things around them, can understand what it means on a deeper level, right? And I'm not claiming I'm smarter, I'm not claiming I'm intelligent or anything, but most people can't see the forest for the trees, right? The gender pronouns are just a symptom of the disease. People are going to complain about the pronouns being there to begin with, but if you know what it represents and what it means for the future, you know it's going to get worse, right? And as I've said in past videos, they want you to be as demoralized as possible. So they go for everything. Your entertainment, your job, your stores, everywhere. They want it everywhere. They want to enforce the idea that they are everywhere, that they control everything, and that they operate everything, right? So they go for your hobbies as well, your means of escape. This is why D&D is no longer fun, right? Baldur's Gate came out in some shitty fucking fetish game. I'm not gonna fucking pay money for that, where you can literally lick people's feet in the fucking game. That's fucking weird. It's strange. It's a fetish game, right? Baldur's Gate is the equivalent of Fallout New Vegas The Frontier, right? It is the video game equivalent of that. It's not a mod, mind you. It's a full-fledged game, but it is no different from that. It is on the same level, except maybe it's slightly more polished, but it's not really any better. I'm not going to pay for that. I don't have to, but they go for all this, right? D&D is no longer fun because it's full of trannies and shit. Video games are always being catered to people who don't buy the video games, not catered to the target audience, right? Which is young men. Nope, not no more. Not no more. Even video games that are like Team Fortress 2 or older ones with more, how do we say, acquired taste communities, they're being rated by leftists day in and day out. And it's just they want you as demoralized as possible. That's the whole goal. That is the point of their collectivist ideology, is to force everybody into it, whether they want to be or not. Right? And they want all opposition to not fight. Right? If you can manage to demoralize your opposition to the point where they no longer have the will to fight, you don't have to fight. Right? But knowing is half the battle. If you know that that's their goal, it is not effective on you anymore. Right? So then we get into the Starfield pronouns online and the discussion around it, right? Most of the collectivists, the cultural Marxists say, it's not that big of a deal, man. It's just pronouns. Like, you can just ignore it, but you can't. The issue is that if it was just pronouns, if it was just this minor nuisance at worst, there wouldn't be any backlash for anybody criticizing it, right? Now, there are countless mods out there for video games that have come out recently, right? Where they remove this gender pronoun nonsensory, or nonsense bullshit, right? Battletech, I used to play Battletech a little bit, not that much, but they had a bunch of pronoun bullshit and all that, and this one guy released a mod for it that removed the pronouns. The mod's completely banned. It was permanently banned and removed. Yeah. So it's not this simple, oh, it's just pronouns and it's optional and you can ignore it. It's like, no, when you go out of your way to ignore it and to assist others in ignoring it, they remove it. Now, mind you, this Battletech mod wasn't disrespectful. It wasn't like, oh, we should fucking imprison all trannies. It didn't say shit like that, right? It was a simple mod that removed pronouns. That's all it did, right? But it was permanently banned. They want you to just lay down, go to sleep. They want you to just take it, right? That's the whole point. That's why they say pronouns are part of the English language. It's optional. You just ignore it. They want you to just ignore it. That's all they want you to do, is just ignore it. Not make mods, not criticize it, not have discussions, not ask why they're doing it to begin with, not why it's in the game to begin with. What's the genuine purpose for it to be in the game? No. They want you to lie down and take it. Because if you lie down and take it, that means they can do whatever the fuck they want, right? And of course, the greedy corporations are going to be greedy corporations. They do what they think will make them money. Of course, this typically leads to them losing money, but of course they get bailed out by the banks, of course. But typically, they go where the money is. And right now, the money is in whatever the banks want them to do. And I'm not going to get into that discussion on what the banks want in particular, but they're all a part of this collectivist cultural Marxist ideology. The destruction of all boundaries, the destruction of all social norms, the destruction of all gender norms, The destruction of everything that has existed beforehand that has gotten us to this point. One of the main features of Marxism, one of the main parts of this ideology, to establish a Marxist ideology, you first have to destroy the capitalist society that came beforehand. You cannot just integrate socialism into a capitalist system. Most Marxists genuinely believe you can only have socialism, Marxism, communism. You can only have it exist, be brought into existence by destroying the capitalist regime that came beforehand. Now, this is what we're seeing now. It's not going to be necessarily violent. I mean, it is, objectively so. I mean, the destruction of your heritage, your history, and your race, this is inherently destructive. It is inherently violent. But this isn't a direct violence. Now, other communist and socialist revolutions were extremely violent. Russia comes to mind, of course. But cultural Marxism is essentially just like any other form of Marxism, but the destruction of one capitalist regime's culture. Hence the name cultural Marxism. They've come for our culture. And the Starfield gender pronouns nonsensory, it's just another part of this cultural Marxist ideology. Another part of their big plan. Now, what you do with this information is up to you. I don't particularly care, because at the end of the day, barely anybody watches this. Nobody gives a shit. My opinion sucks, and I'm wrong, apparently. Okay, that's fine and dandy. But if you liked the video, which I know you did, comment, and subscribe. If you hated it, or hate me and my opinions, tell me in the comments below, because engagement's good for the algorithm, and the only reason why many people don't really see my videos is because the algorithm doesn't like me. So do me a favor and tell me how you hate me in the comments below. Thank you for watching.